Hi guys, and welcome to Sweden. I've been looking for compositions in those trees for quite a while now, but I'm not sure that I managed to get a worthwhile shot. There's been quite a storm swooping through the area in the past couple days, but actually more wind than rain. So I was trying to play with the contrast between the pine needles and the water drops. But in any case, that's a nice morning. The sun is peeking out now, and I'm enjoying the sound of all of those songbirds all around me. I have found a tiny subject here, and I mean really tiny. There's some moss on the ground, and growing from this moss are some stems, and so I'm trying to photograph those against their mossy background, obviously. But they are so tiny that I'm at the minimum focus distance of this macro lens, and my camera is basically laying on the ground here. And the keen-eyed amongst you might have noticed that I'm not using my usual camera in this video. My usual camera, which is a Canon R5 Mark II, has a damage on the top screen here. Basically, I've somehow broken the glass on the top screen. So the camera is fine, but I need to replace the protective glass, and I don't want to risk damaging the camera by using it in the meantime. So that's why I'm using my older camera, which is a Canon 5D Mark III. But that's on a day like today when shooting macro right against the ground here that I regret not having some modern refinements such as a touchscreen or an articulating screen. Something else that I miss from my R5 Mark II that I did not mention earlier is the ability to zoom in the viewfinder to make sure that the focus is spot on. I'm a little bit off trail now, and I've came across this stone wall that I've never seen before. So I've been exploring for quite a while, trying to find interesting patterns in the moss, or maybe even some bugs, but no luck with that so far. And so what I just photographed was some contrasting moss patterns. There are a lot of different types of mosses on those rocks. So I found a place where two very different kind of mosses were close together. And just now I spotted the tiniest spider, but he's actually so tiny that even with the macro lens he's maybe like 10% of the frame or something like that. So I don't know if I got anything of interest with this spider on top of what I just said. The conditions are very changing. The light in particular is changing a lot. I shot a lone tree earlier, a lone tree standing on a rock, and this photograph could only work if the scene was backlit, which it had been for a quick moment, but not anymore. And now we even have a little bit of rain. I was exploring this lichen patch when a rain shower went through, and it didn't last long actually. Now the sky are blue again, and I noticed a lone fern leaf growing in the lichen here, and due to that rain there's just a little bit of water on that leaf. And I was using my wide angle macro lens here because I wanted to include as much of the lichen around the leaf as possible. And for this shot the sun is actually more of a problem than anything because it's creating hot spots in the composition. So the conditions were actually better for me for this shot when it was still raining. So now I've switched to my standard macro lens here, trying new compositions with a totally different perspective. I'm not sure which one I prefer just yet. I think probably the wider perspective, but I will see that when I get back to the office. And I'd love to hear your opinion on that. Which version do you prefer, the wide one or the more tighter perspective with the 100mm macro that I have here? I don't have the feeling that I've been very successful today. I mean, I did not have a plan for today. I mostly wanted to scout this specific area to see if there are any signs of spring yet. More specifically, I was looking for flowers, if there were any. But no, it's too early in the season here. And I mean, the conditions were fairly tricky as well. This changing light was not really helping. But I'm still happy I have seen those spiders. There was the one that I shot, plus a few others that I was not able to shoot properly, so I did not include those. So see you guys next time and have a good one.